The good old days when GTA clones released left and right. Back in 2009, a small game named Saboteur released by a dev team called Pandemic Studios. But to understand why it was special, we need to go back to October 22nd, 2001, when the third installment in the Grand Theft Auto series released, and overnight created an open-world crime genre. The game took over worldwide and sold millions of copies. It was safe to say that other companies wanted to replicate that magic, and so the GTA clone era began. And one of the first games cursed with that term released the following year, Mafia, a game set during the early 1900s where you play as a taxi driver turned mobster. And now fast forward to 2006, Saints Row released, which was the first to bring online multiplayer and a full character creator to the genre. Then 2009 came, and one game snuck in, The Saboteur, a World War II open world set in Nazi-occupied Paris. A game so ambitious they even released it on iOS and BlackBerry, and somehow nobody talked about it. Today my mission is simple: find out if The Saboteur deserved to be called a GTA clone or if it was something much greater. So this is our protagonist Sean Devlin, and before he was a middle-aged man getting drunk inside a strip club on a weekday, we have to take his story back 3 months to where it all began. It's 1940 and Sean and his crew are in the countryside of Germany getting ready for a very important race. But speaking of his crew, let me introduce you to them. First up is Jules, our best friend and mechanic, and the only thing he takes serious is cars.
Your is my girl now, Sean. I will not have another man picking up her skirt.
The total opposite of him is his sister Veronique, who at the jump told me this.
Couldn't he wait till I'd made myself a little more decent?
I don't believe in miracles.
Now I have the inability to tell if she's flirting or she actually thinks I'm a disgusting human being, and that's probably why I'm gonna die alone. But speaking of death, this senior citizen's name is Vittori, a father figure to Sean and Jules and the leader of the race crew. It might not be the best group, but this is the closest thing Sean has to family ever since he left Ireland. And we'll get into that later in the video, because we have our biggest race yet to get to, so that's enough for an introduction. We have much better things to do, like stopping on the side of the road to test our might on an innocent chicken and a cow eating grass. Good little burger for me? Come on. Anyways, we finally made it to town where Sean and the crew is gonna spend the night right before the race. Yo, I like this city. Never mind. Me and the crew stopped by the nearest pub to end off the day and get ready for tomorrow. But it became very apparent we were 100% in enemy territory, so this fun night out with the boys quickly turned into an all-out bar fight because of this motherfucker right here.
Kurt Durker. I thought he was retired.
A rival racer slash Nazi who came up to us, and the conversation quickly turned left.
This must be that British mechanic who thinks he's a driver.
I'm fucking Irish.
It's getting late. Why don't we call it a night?
Stay, dine with me.
I've no taste for German cuisine.
But soon, the women of your country will learn to savor the taste of a purebred German bratwurst.
And let's just say it did not end well for them at all. But unfortunately, this is not the last time we'll see this guy. But we had one big problem now. We were in enemy territory after getting into a fight with Nazis. With no way out, we somehow got blessed by the plot armor gods, because Sean's old friend Skylar was coincidentally right outside when we managed to escape before getting caught up. And later, we went back to the same hotel in the same town to get some rest for the big day tomorrow. A lot of resting happened that night.
She was gone when I woke up. To be honest, I feel a bit used.
Anyways, we made our way to the race in a stolen car for some reason, because it's not like we got here in one or anything, right? But once we got there, it was finally time. No more talking or drunk fights late at night. We were there with our family, and we were not gonna let this chance slip.
This is your moment, Sean. Remember what I taught you. I trained you to win.
Watch your ass out there! These Nazi bastards are out for blood!
Drivers to starting positions.
I'll see you at the victory party.
We got on the track, and to no surprise to anyone, we were absolutely cooking, and it looked like all of this was worth it. We were finally gonna win the race. And after passing that driver we met at the bar earlier by completely fair rules, he was not happy. So being a normal racer, what do you think he did in this situation? A, take the L like a grown man and come back stronger. B, congratulate the winner and move on. C, retire with dignity. Or D, pull out a fucking pistol and shoot my wheel out, causing me to lose the whole race. Obviously, the best course of action we took was following him home and blowing up his entire car.
It'd be a damn shame if something were to happen to Durker's car before the big shindig.
You mean some kind of freak accident? Oh, that would be terrible.
If you want to get yourself killed, I can't stop you. But leave my family out of it.
Jules is his own man.
If I may chime in, you're making a mistake, Sean. Dirk isn't who you think he is. He's dangerous, Sean. Let it go.
Yeah, we didn't listen to their advice at all. Surely me and Jules weren't gonna get in trouble for driving his car off a cliff. Well, I should have seen that coming. Well, that went horrible. Now I have a bag over my head, and the sounds I'm hearing from Jules, I can only assume he's being tortured.
Stop! Stop this! For God's sake, stop hurting him!
And it's by no other than Dierker.
Face, I hope you are not disappointed.
So he wasn't only a race car driver, but he was a high-ranking colonel for the Nazis. But all those skills still didn't buy him any common sense, because he was convinced me and Jules were secret agents from Britain.
We know that you are a British agent. We know that you were sent here to conduct surveillance on this facility.
And breaking into their facility to blow up his car probably did not help our case. This all led to one of my favorite scenes yet.
Make your choice. Now.
Go fuck yourself!
And as the colors drained from the screen, the true reality of what just happened sank in. I don't think black and white is just a visual choice, but more how Dierker sees the world.
We are all animals beneath the skin.
There's just no nuance or in between. Either you're useful to him or you're nothing.
Enough. You will tell me every operational detail of your mission. You will tell me, one way or another.
He couldn't even fathom the fact that two broke race car drivers had no agenda, that sometimes people were just people. And the moment Jules dies, the color leaves with him. Because to Sean, the world just became exactly what Dierker always saw it as, lifeless. And just like that, there was a fire lit under Sean, and he had his reason to fight back. The only thing on his mind now was making sure Dierker never got to do this to anyone else.
Should have been me, brother. Before this is over, they're gonna wish it hard.
Oh, and this is all happening while Germany is invading Paris. Yeah, what is our fucking luck, dude? So after somehow gaining military training, Sean was able to take out an entire base of trained soldiers and escape. But it doesn't stop there, because our next goal was to escape the entire country. We reached our little farm from the beginning of the game, and it was of course set ablaze. Plus, Vittori and Veronique were nowhere to be seen, and Sean instantly thought of the worst, but thankfully he used his Spec Ops training that he just learned 2 minutes ago to save both of their lives. But it was bittersweet because our best friend was just murdered in cold blood, and we had no time to grieve.
Dierker sent them.
Dierker? Oh my god. Where is my brother? Where is Jules? No! Get away from me! This is your fault! You took him to that place! Jules!
It was either stay and be sad and eventually be caught, or run away to Paris, which is where this game begins. Now we see Sean, the same middle-aged man living in the back of a strip club, getting drunk every day because of the trauma he was left with. Watching his best friend die right in front of him and his whole world being flipped upside down was already enough, but lucky for him, things were about to get 10 times worse, because he met this gem, Luke, the type of guy to get us executed because of speaking too loud in a Nazi-filled club. No, like literally.
How many more people will die at the hands of these jackbooted killers while you sit there cowering like a whipped dog?
This isn't my country.
Oh, did you abandon your conscience at the border? Does the need for justice end at some line drawn on a map? Open your eyes! The war is all around us. You can't escape it. You can hide here and leave the fighting to braver men. Or you can walk out that door and do what must be done. The choice is yours.
Keep it down. That sort of talk will get us both a bullet in the back of the head.
I intend to do more than talk.
Yeah, no, I think this guy is insane, and he told me to meet him outside in the alleyway, where he gladly informed me that we're gonna be blowing up 5,000 barrels of petrol. And if you were thinking Sean was gonna push back on this idea, no, he didn't at all, because we blew the entire block ablaze. Me being the high IQ individual you know me as, I might have stayed in the fucking area and died with the explosion. But one thing I would like to point out is that color came back to the area once we've past this mission, which is going to be a reoccurring theme throughout this entire game. But after this successful war crime, we linked up at La Belle, the bar Veronique's parents ran and the only place that let Sean stay after losing everything. But we were there to celebrate, which lasted all about 5 minutes before getting the word that Vittori has been captured by German soldiers. And with no hesitation, we took off to save him. They took him and a group of people to a slaughterhouse to kill them. So when I showed up, I needed a disguise, so I obviously stealthily took this guy's outfit. We snuck in, and lo and behold, there was Vittori in a cage ready to be on the chopping block. But it didn't go as planned, because Luke moonwalked into the screen and was apparently shot with no blood and was able to walk. But no time to talk about the game logic, because the British decided to bomb the place while we were here. I would like to ask, what are the chances? Luckily, we made it to the basement and everyone was safe. Well, not everyone, because the German soldiers were quite literally eviscerated. This is when one of my favorite features of this game was introduced. Every time we liberate an area, we simultaneously encourage the others to fight back and bring back the same color that was stolen from us. But before celebrating, Luke needed medical attention, and of course nothing is ever simple, because some guy named Santos had the nerve to send me across occupied Paris for a bottle of champagne in exchange for medicine. So we had to mow down an entire party of Nazis to get this champagne bottle. Yeah, I already hate this guy, bro. And he's the black market vendor we're gonna buy, you know, black market things from. But anyways, we got Luke the medicine, and when I offered to take Veronique home, she reminded me exactly why I didn't deserve to live for some reason.
You can't stay here. Come on, I'll take you back to the bed.
No, you will not.
Veronique, I'm just looking out for you, that's all.
The way you looked after Jules. That will not be necessary.
In that moment, the resistance was formed. We all had a common enemy, and we weren't gonna stop until he was gone. Dude! First on the list was the guy who ratted on Vittori and all those innocent people. Luckily for us, we knew he was meeting with a general to get paid for being a sneaky little rat. So after a small tailing mission, we had a civilized conversation about breaking trust and how it really tarnishes relationships. Speaking of relationships, we went to go meet Santos right after to see how the black market works. Basically, blow up Nazi stuff, get contraband, spend contraband on better ways to blow up Nazi stuff, or just do whatever Batman shit this was. Seriously, how are Sean's ankles still attached to his body? Next on the list was another general, but this time we weren't gonna take him out the usual way. We were gonna hit him where it really hurts, his car. Luckily for us, Santos for some reason knew exactly where it was, so we might have allegedly stole the car and sold it back to him, simultaneously unlocking the garage system where we'll be able to customize cars. But right now we have to get into why you haven't liked the video or subscribed. Come on, it's free. I'm just joking, you don't owe me a thing, but like, it'll help. Anyways, the resistance was growing and so was our body count. Over the next few weeks, we were making noise all over Paris, and somewhere in there, Veronique started warming up to Sean. Not enough for an apology, but tricking him into driving her to a building to explode it. Hey bro, we could take the wins wherever we could find them, man. And it was pretty clear that Sean wasn't the only one that she was warming up to.
He is an extraordinary man. People are whispering his name all over Paris.
Luke's the hero, is that it? I suppose I'm just his chauffeur.
Jealous?
Bollocks.
This is where the story finally starts to pick up, and Sean had no idea what he was in for. After a big argument with Luke over Veronique's safety,
What the hell's the matter with you? Now you're using girls to do your dirty work.
I haven't used anyone. Those who serve our cause do so because they are patriots.
I already lost her brother. I'll be damned if I'm gonna lose Veronique as well. She can have no part in this.
You once said that Jules was his own man. Well, I am my own woman. Do not presume to tell me what to do.
Count your enemies, Luke. If anything happens to her, you'll have made one too many.
Sean needed some time away from the city, and luckily our old friend Skylar invited us over for some drinks. So obviously my nonchalant ass accepted, and you know, it's whatever. We just like drove there at like a medium pace and shit, you know. In Sean's head, he thought he was gonna have a night off, but of course that can't happen because Skylar drugged him and he woke up in front of the British intelligence, a man named Bishop, who had a simple offer: recover a mysterious box from a cemetery controlled by Nazis, and in exchange he'd wipe Sean's criminal record and most importantly hand him Dierkers on a silver platter. So now that makes 2 organizations Sean has joined without his consent. But now we were on a mission, and I conveniently got a letter from Skylar telling me she is ready at the cemetery, all while I was getting shot at for no good reason. So I drove as fast as possible to my baby Sky, to complete the mission at hand. I snuck in through a little hole in the wall, and to no one's surprise, I instantly alerted every single soldier in the area and got Skylar's shit blown smooth off. My second attempt, I actually got all the way through, fighting off dozens of soldiers, and was led to a mausoleum that had an underground crypt. I took out the remaining soldiers and once again brought color back to the area and found the mysterious box I heard so much about. Sean was told not to look inside no matter what, so of course within seconds he opened it and took a peek. He was immediately caught by Skylar, but she's a real one so she won't snitch. My issue is they never go back to what's in this box or why it mattered, and honestly that's probably not the game's fault. This feels like something bigger they had planned that just never got the chance to happen or, you know, come into fruition. Or it could just be a fucking box. Who knows?
But hey, that...
Anyways, we finally hooked up the box to this truck that led to a fucking standoff against the Nazis. We finally ended up losing them and hid the box somewhere extremely discreet. Well, surely the soldiers aren't gonna notice, and the only supercar in the city that we have a box they fought so hard for just hours ago, right? Yeah, no, they actually let both of us through, actually perfectly fine, and they really didn't care at all. Anyways, we delivered this godforsaken box and finally were given the info on where Dierker was, just like he promised. But he was way closer than we anticipated, only a few miles away boarding a Zeppelin. So if we wanted to catch him, we had to go now. And this was by far my favorite mission of the game, and here's why. So we took a stolen truck and outfit to sneak right into the area and blend in. Little did Sean know this was going to be way harder than he thought, because the moment we met our first locked door in our path, we answered with a 5-ton truck going at 70 miles per hour, and it alerted the entire base of our presence. And now we have to fight our way to Dierker instead. And all this mission showed me was Sean should have been in the Avengers. No, like he took out 100+ soldiers, climbed an entire building while being riddled with bullets, was lit on fire, and we actually reached the end. And the first person we saw was him, the man who killed our brother. They instantly got into a fight, which led to a bullet hitting the gas canister in the Zeppelin. Now, I'm no engineer, but I don't think flying while a gas canister is on fire is at all safe. But Super Sean didn't care. He chased Dierker through the fire and explosions. There was nothing stopping him, even if it meant his own life was in danger. We finally cornered him. The reason all this started was an arm's reach away.
You should have died under my knife! Not like this!
There's nowhere you can run! I'll find you wherever you go!
He jumped out the Zeppelin with the parachute, leaving Sean to die while this whole thing crashed and burned to the ground. It was all for nothing. Dierker won in the end. Is what I would say if Sean wasn't a superhuman. He somehow survived a 1,000-foot fall in a metal burning hell chamber. This is when I knew Dierker had no chance of surviving next time we saw him. Like, Sean might explode this guy's head next time he sees him, bro. And it was way sooner than we thought, because Luke was cooking up a plan that was about to unfold. And over the next few weeks, Sean was basically a one-man army tearing through Nazi operations across Paris, like taking out convoys for our boy Santos, who Sean may have threatened his life.
I'm just about at the end of my rope, Santos. Tell me how much it'll cost to get those papers. If I don't like the number, they're gonna be fishing you out of the river with a fucking...
And other wonderful things like sneaking into a camp to break out British soldiers. I say sneaking very loosely because Sean does not know what stealth means. Like, literally his answer is always TNT. And somewhere between all of this chaos, Vittori pulled Sean aside and told him something that should have stopped him in his tracks. That revenge only hurts the people we love. He took Sean in as his own, and he was scared he'd throw it all away and lose him. Sean heard what he said, but he just didn't listen. Because the very next thing he did was blow up a fucking bridge and derail a train. All just to save this one doctor who knew way too many things about nuclear power, and Germany was gonna use him, so we had to bring him to our HQ. Even though when we went through security checks, they just did not notice him at all. After the resistance was growing, we needed a bigger base, so we moved our operations underground into the Paris catacombs. But remember that plan I said Luke was cooking up? He finally revealed it. The Germans are setting up a competition in the city to basically see who could piss farther.
A race. To be held here, several high-ranking Nazi officials will be in attendance. We will seize this opportunity to strike a blow that will shake the very foundations of the Third Reich.
You may be asking, how the hell are you gonna get into this heavily guarded race?
There will be an award ceremony at the base of the Eiffel Tower. That is when we will strike. You are going to win the race.
He told me that Vittori was cooking up a plan to get the Aurora back, the same car from the beginning of the game. Everything was falling into place, until Luke dropped one more piece of news.
You may be interested to know that the Germans are placing bets on the winning driver. At last count, the odds were 5-1 in favor of Kurt Dierker.
This could truly be our last chance at Kurt, and Sean was not gonna let it pass up. So first order on duty was stealing Vittori's baby back, and we conveniently knew exactly where it was. So in Sean's fashion, we blew up the entrance to an underground garage and sped off in this beautiful beast. And we took it back to Vittori, where he upgraded it in seconds actually.
Get my toolbox. We have work to do.
So now that's 2 superhumans in the game. They should be able to take out the Nazis themselves at this point. And after getting my new identity from Skylar for the race, everything is ready to go. And after tying some loose ends that I won't get into because I want to upload this video, like it's been 4 months since the last time I've uploaded. This needs to go out. It was finally time to race. But of course, nothing could ever go as planned because the Nazis somehow found out where we were and raided our base.
German machine guns.
Nazi soldiers! We're surrounded!
Maybe it wasn't a good idea to stay in the same building that we took from them, or maybe we actually have a snitch in the group, but none of that mattered right now. We had to fend off dozens of soldiers and we had to move right back down to the catacombs, where someone went missing. Spoiler alert, it was Veronique. We had no idea where she was. All I really knew was that she stayed with Luke last time I saw her.
Go! We'll rendezvous at the catacombs.
Crazy enough, Luke seemed not to care at all and wanted to move forward with the race plan. It seemed like he just didn't care about anyone's safety and had one thing in mind.
Luke, where is Veronique? Where is she?
It was chaos. We were separated. She was captured.
Oh, you miserable bastard! She stayed for you!
Sean!
Give me 10 men. I'll bring her back.
I cannot do that.
What? Why not?
The operation will proceed as planned. Once the attack begins, we will need every man who can carry a gun.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. We're talking about Veronique.
Our cause is more important than any one person. Even Veronique.
Not to me, it isn't.
You cannot leave, Sean. We need you to drive the Aurora.
Find yourself another driver. I'm out.
Not too long after, one of our best guys, Bryman, managed to tap into Nazi phone lines. And what we heard made our job 100 times harder. There was a snake in the group who sold out our location. And to make things worse, Veronique was being held inside a prison sentenced to death. If we didn't get there in time, they were gonna execute her that same day. So in true Sean fashion, we couldn't just normally sneak in to save her. We flew in. No, like literally. We did a Call of Duty entrance into a Zeppelin fueling station with explosions and all, and jumped in last second, almost falling to our death. But here's the thing, we got there just in time to save Veronique. A few minutes later, and she would have been gone. And another chase scene this time featuring crashing fighter jets. Yeah, after all this, if Veronique ends up being with Luke, Paris is gonna have to worry about more than the fucking Nazis, bro.
Veronique! But how?
This is a sick fucking world, bro. But there was no time to complain because we had to tell him about the snake, and this was his reaction.
Somebody's been talking to the crowds, Luke. You need to call off this crazy plan before it's too late.
It's already too late. There won't be another chance like this one. We must see it through, no matter what the cost.
You're gambling with other people's lives.
We have been gambling from the beginning.
They were really gonna stick with the same plan. They already rigged the Aurora with 80 kilograms of explosives, and Vittori was gonna be the driver. Me and you both know Sean was just not gonna let Vittori put himself in harm's way. So he might have took his place in like the nicest way possible.
Sean? You once told me never to throw my life away.
We were talking about revenge. This is something different.
I can see your point. But you're forgetting one thing. I'm the one that started this race, and I'll be damned if I'm not the man to finish it.
And just like that, Sean was right back where he started, behind the wheel. One more race, one more shot at Dierker. This time, there was no way he was letting him leave unscathed.
We can see the Aurora from here. We will be watching you the whole way. I am proud to call you a friend, Signor Morini. When this war is over, You will be honored as a hero of my country.
In that case, you better make sure they get me name right.
Sean was off, and I'm not gonna lie, I've never raced this good in my life. Well, except for that one time I thought I was in first place, only to find out that I was in sixth. As if that wasn't already stressful enough, Bryman called me mid-race, telling us they found him and Vittori at the bell.
Devlin!
Bryman, where are you?
The Belle de Nuit! They found us, Devlin! They're trapped! For the love of God, these people are unarmed! No!
Bryman, are you there? Damn it! God fucking damn it!
Sean, with the worst possible outcome running through his head, made quick work of the entire track, crossed the finish line in first, and drove the Aurora straight into the base of the Eiffel Tower.
The Europa Cup goes to Rebecca driving the Red Phoenix.
Put that in your fucking movie.
The signal was sent, Paris was on fire, but the only thing on Sean's mind was Vittori. So he rushed to the bell, and the drive there felt endless. Alarms echoing through the streets, fire lighting up the sky, bullets echoing from every direction. Paris was finally fighting back, but Sean wasn't thinking about any of that. All he could think about was getting to the bell in time. By the time he arrived, the only thing that felt like a home since Ireland was already burning to the ground. But the building being gone didn't matter, because inside it, barely holding on, was the man who took him in when he had nothing left, Vittori, laying in rubble with countless other victims like Veronique's parents and Bryman, people with their own stories, families, memories gone because of hate. And even through the fog, Vittori got one last chance to speak to Sean.
It's all right, Vittori.
Santos, he was helping them. Must warn the others.
I will. Just as soon as we get you out of here.
Sean, my son.
Sean was defeated, but after finding out the person who's been giving the Nazis tips all along was Santos, he had no time to grieve because he knew this wasn't the last attack. So he rushed to Luke and Veronique in the catacombs. Also, I knew this guy was a fucking snake since the moment I met him. So Sean arrived at the catacombs, and once again he was too late because there was an active raid happening. Luckily for the resistance, they have Sean on their side, so he absolutely obliterated anything that stood in his way and managed to finally find the resistance getting blitzed. Luckily for them, Sean was a superhuman before losing his only father figure, so now I think the entire city might turn into a crater. And just when it looked like Sean finally had the upper hand, Santos walked in, and that slimy motherfucker finally showed his face.
Luke! Tell your men to throw down their arms! You can still save their lives!
Santos.
He sold you out to the crowds, led them to the bell. Veronique, your parents are...
Not now.
They only want you and the girl! The others are free to go!
You're done making deals, you Judas bastard!
You must have made your own deal with the devil, Irishman! Why else would he have kept you alive so long?
You can ask him yourself when you meet him!
Very well, Irishman. I'll see you in hell!
The Nazis had us flanked, and before anyone could even move, they blew the wall. The explosion brought half the ceiling down, and when the dust cleared, Luke was trapped underneath it. With backup on the way, they couldn't help him, and knowing what they do to people they catch alive, they gave him the best way out. In hindsight, Luke wasn't cold for wanting to leave Veronique that one time. He just understood something we didn't yet. That in a war this brutal, the only way to keep fighting is to accept that the people closest to you might not make it. He understood that if you truly believe in something worth dying for, you have to be prepared to lose everyone you love for it. And with hundreds of resistance fighters who died in the dark with no ceremony, no last words, and no one to remember them, Luke at least got to die knowing it meant something.
You know what will happen if they take me alive? You have seen Teokar's methods firsthand. In the end, I will tell them everything. You must not let that happen.
I can't do this.
Compassion is a luxury we can no longer afford. The enemy we face has none.
Now it was time to finish what they started. But not before a filler mission where we went back to where it all started. Doppelsgeek, the place where Jules was killed. We had to save this same doctor from earlier because he's the most kidnappable person in human history apparently. And the whole mission was kind of a side plot, feels like filler, or at least like it just drags the story. But lucky for you, this is a video. The only scene of importance I found was Sean blowing up the chair Jules was killed on. It also wasn't the only thing that blew up, because the entire building came down with it, which basically killed Kurt Dierker's entire operations. Speaking of Kurt Dierker, when we got back to Paris, we heard that he survived the explosion and has gone crazy because of what happened in Doppelsee. With the entire city finally rising up, there was one last thing to do. Now, after a game full of elaborate fights, explosions, hundreds of soldiers, you'd think the walk to Dierker would be just that, but it wasn't. The silence was deafening. It felt like the big bad invincible monster finally shed some blood. Soldiers were either dead from Kurt's hands or have just given up. So when Sean finally made it to the top of the Eiffel Tower where the mental breakdown was happening, it was more pathetic than anything else.
Your failure is my failure. My disgrace is yours. The punishment is death. Ah!
This just isn't your day.
Was the only one who ever escaped. It is fitting that you should be the one.
I won't argue with that.
One day, history will thank us for what we have done. Holding back the mongrel hordes while you people cowered in our shadow. You could never understand the burden of my duty.
Killing you could never make up for what I've lost. My friends will still be dead, and I'll still have to live with the things I've done.
Is that why you're here? Did you think that by killing me, you could wash the blood from your own hands? That's tragic. We are going to hell, aren't we, Irishman?
Maybe. But you'll get there before me.
Blaise Pascal once said all of humanity's problems stem from man's ability to sit quietly in a room alone. Dierker couldn't sit quietly. He needed to win, to control, to label and destroy anything that didn't fit his world, and it cost him everything. But he's not the only one. We do it every day. Reduce things we don't understand to small terms and move on without thinking about it. Reduce real people with souls to headlines, and behind every closed door is a story someone decided wasn't worth hearing. Now that's exactly what happened to this game. A small studio poured everything they had into something different, something unique. EA rushed their previous 2 games into the ground, damaged their reputation, then shut them down November 17th, 2009. 3 weeks later, the Saboteur shipped as a finished game from a studio that no longer existed. 228 people lost their jobs, a sequel that never got made, and the game they died making was instantly labeled a GTA clone by people who never gave it a chance to live. So to answer the question, was the Saboteur a GTA clone? Yes. Not because it didn't try anything new, but because it was a victim of people's inability to sit quietly in a room alone. If you made it this far, this is a secret. Just comment tacos or something, but please like the video and subscribe. I put a lot of work into this, bro.